Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'm very pleased to bring you an update on the Sikh Channel Aid Dubai race event, which is taking place in Dubai on the 17th of November. Very kindly sponsored by Harmeek Singh, Director of Plan B, and also a Director with Sikh Channel Aid. Joining me are two of the young lady contestants who will be going forward to the race. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you very much for joining us today on this Dubai race update program. I'd like to find out more about you and why you applied to take part in this race, the selection procedure, and how you were selected to go forward and represent the Sikh community. Sharon, can we start with you? Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself? How old are you? Where do you live? And your occupation?
Yeah. My name's Sharon. I'm 30 years old and I'm from Wolverhampton. My current profession is that I'm a primary school teacher.
That's great. And how long have you been a teacher?
Well, actually, I qualified as a teacher, not last year, the year before with Warwick University. I did my first year as a fully qualified teacher last year, and I've just gone into supply teaching work at the moment to broaden my teaching experiences.
That's great. And how did you come to apply for this Dubai race?
Well, actually, it was my mum who spotted the advert on the television, and she knows that I've been running for some time at the gym. So she said to me, something's come up and it looks really interesting, why don't you go for it? It sounds like a really good opportunity. And then I happened to see the advert and I applied for it shortly after.
That's great. So your mum was watching the Sikh channel.
Yeah.
Do you watch Sikh channel very much yourself?
I do watch it on the occasion when it's on. I like to listen to the Kirtan on there, and that's the main reason I watch the channel. And then obviously it just happened by coincidence that the advert came on and I thought, oh, that sounds great.
That's great. And what do you think about the cause that we're supporting? There's two causes, essentially. One is recognition of ladies generally globally having equal rights. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think that's an amazing cause to actually run for. I think it's really unique. I haven't actually heard about any other sort of charities that support that sort of concept. So it's something that really interested me. I thought empowering women and being able to run in that kind of supportive environment is exactly something that I'd be interested in doing. And obviously the added element of us being able to fundraise for the event is what enticed me into doing it in the first place.
Because we've also got a fundraising opportunity for Sikh Channel Aid. Yeah. You've all been asked to fundraise and get sponsors. How do you feel about that? I think it'll probably be a little bit of a challenge. I've never had to actually fundraise. I mean, I'm very supportive of charities. I've done a 12-mile bike ride in the past for Sikh Helpline. I've done a cancer research walk for my mum. And I've done little bits. I've done a bike sale at school for Promised Dreams with the children. So I've actually given and done other little bits for charity, but actually fundraising a large amount for a charity will be something that is a challenge, but I'm excited about it. It's a challenge, that's great. Parvinder Kaur, coming on to you, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself, your age, where you come from and your interests?
Yes, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'm Parvinder Kaur from Birmingham. I've been teaching as a lecturer in computer science for over 15 years. I'm also an Indian music teacher in Bhangra, drumming and dancing. So I've got a background in teaching in Birmingham area.
That's great. And what do you think about the Sikh channel? Do you watch many of the programs?
Yes, my family have it on all the time. I think that's one of the reasons they were pushing me into this as well. I do a lot for the community and local charities, and this is just another organisation and another project that I would love to get involved in.
That's great. And the Dubai race, did you look at the online information? It's a women's only race. What's your view about that? You
know, I was quite surprised that because we're not really used to that happening in the UK. I know there's a lot of non-Asian events that happen in the UK which are women orientated, but the fact that we had the honour of being selected, and I get to meet people like Sharon with these causes, and I think what they're doing and how it's promoted in the UK via yourselves is absolutely amazing.
That's great, Parvinder. And as you mentioned, it's a great networking opportunity. All the ladies who are going on behalf of Sikh Channel Aid, they'll be new to each other, and you'll get to meet and be able to connect and make new friends. What do you think about that?
Yeah, connecting and networking, especially with empowering women and women that make a bit of a stance in the community, that's probably a really good thing. I've been doing it for 18 years. We did a charity Khalsa Aid skydive jump, which was very challenging, but the team that I have, which is a Bhangra team, we all did it together. We did various other charity shows, and connecting and promoting these kind of projects really, push us for doing more and gives us more of a passion and motivation.
You teach Bhangra, do you? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm a Bhangra teacher, part-time. And
like a keep fit class?
Like a keep fit class. I also play Dol, so I've been playing Dol for over 25 years. Dol is a very male-dominating instrument, and that's probably why I picked it up. And I teach a group of women, over 25 women, that are into Bhangra music, Dol and dance.
And recently, have you been featured in any mainstream media?
Yes, BBC News actually featured our group very recently for just the same reason that what we're here today is empowering women and connecting women across the world. And I think BBC News was really, really excited to know that Eternal Dal, which is our girl group, is pushing females from the UK. And I'm so happy that you're doing this, because people like Sharon and people like us, we try and promote that as much as we can in the UK.
I remember seeing the article in the BBC, on the BBC website, and thinking of it now, your name was there. Parvinder Kaur. I was very pleased to see a young Sikh representative in the mainstream media. And recently, in recent years, there's been a great advent of Dharmak Geet. What do you think about all the recent new releases of Dharmak Geet, religious-orientated songs by artists?
That's one thing that I missed out on my childhood, because my father started Bhangra music in the UK, and this was in 1967. Bhangra music and Punjabi folk music was very mainstream, and it was very up there. But also we didn't miss out on the religious side, and my father did a lot of religious and kirtan type of dharmic geets, and that's where my connection with Sikh Channel, Punjab News, Khalsa Aid came into it. And I think mainstream artists connect with that, with the younger generation, because they know whatever the music is, they will listen to it from the artist, and that's probably why our industry is doing so well.
That's great. And Sharon, are you interested in Dharmak Geets as well? Do you think they're a good way to reach young people?
It's definitely a good way. I think if children can relate to it, and if it starts at a young age, that's likely to then develop as they're becoming adults. And it's the same in schools. Any principles that you embed at a young age, that's how that child will then develop, with those principles embedded in their mind. And I think at the Gurdwara it's really important actually that when Kirtan is done, that there's always the translations as well, so children can actually see the meaning behind the religious song.
Sikhi to the max. We've done an enormous seva worldwide.
Yeah.
I remember I went to Toronto recently, and in all the Gurdwara they had screens up with Sikhi to the max giving translations, and so that's a great thing that the Sikhi to max team have initiated across the world. And also often through Bhangra music, people get introduced to Punjabi language, so it has another positive side effect, if you like. What do you think about that?
I think it's really good if children can be taught that as they've got it as their mother tongue, or at least as their second language, because somewhere in life you will need to be able to use that Punjabi and at least have a basic understanding of it. I mean, my parents sent me to a Punjabi school from a young age, and I completed my GCSEs in Punjabi at a young age. So I think for me that just became what is the norm. So it is good if children can do it, because I am glad of that now later in life, because you do need that basic level of Punjabi.
Skill.
Yeah, it's an extra
qualification.
Skill. Exactly, yeah.
And we're going to test your Punjabi a little bit now. Parvinder Kaur,
Hanji, sat sri akal ji.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੁਬਈ ਲਈ ਹੁਣ ਥੋੜਾ ਚੋਣ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ, ਸਾਨੂੰ 40-50 ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਆਈਆਂ ਸੀ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ 10-12 ਬੀਬੀਆਂ ਲੜ ਕੇ ਥੋੜੇ ਅੰਗਰ ਸਿਲੈਕਟ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਲੈਕਟ ਹੋਏ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਪ੍ਰਾਊਡ ਆ, ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਮੰਮੀ ਡੈਡੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੰਮ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ at the age of 16 and
ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਕਦੋਂ ਆਏ ਸੀ
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਏ mum and dad came in 1964 on 50 years ਮੇਰੇ father ਪੰਜਾਬੀ music industry ਚ ਗਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ and ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ that ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਗਾਣਾ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ 뮤직 ਇਨਸਟਰੂਮੈਂਟਸ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੌਰ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਐਂਡ ਡੈਡ ਨੇ ਕਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਤੂੰ ਲੜਕੀ ਆ ਤੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਬੈਠੋ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਕਰੋ ਹੀ ਵਾਸ ਵੈਰੀ ਇਨਕਰੇਜਿੰਗ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਛ ਕੀਤਾ ਮੰਮੀ ਡੈਡੀ ਨੇ ਐਂਡ that's why this especially the Dubai run that's why it's so dear to my heart because it empowers women.
It's a women's only event.
That's just amazing.
Sharon, what do you feel about equality and the egalitarian nature of the Sikh faith? Sare apne Sikh dharm de vich assi barabarta dinde ha aurat nu ladies nu ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਹੋਗੇ?
Well, in the teachings of the Quran, so there's no discrimination, is there, whether it be caste or gender related. So I'm really about pushing that, about equality in all areas of life, whether it be work, personal life, what happens at home. But yeah, it's really important moving forward because again, that's what we're teaching the next generation to be like. And there's no reason why anybody should be higher than anyone else because in God's eyes, everybody is on the same level.
Absolutely.
Yeah, equal.
And especially in terms of the region that the race is taking place in Dubai. The Middle East is known for restricting ladies and ladies don't have as much opportunity. And ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਪਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਲੱਕੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਨਮ ਲਿਆ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਇੰਡੀਆ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਔਰਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀ ਮਿਲਦੀ.
Yeah, we feel humbled. I'm sure Pav agrees. We feel humbled and honoured to have these opportunities, and it would be nice if everybody believed and thought that way because it's just nice for women to be able to take part in those kind of activities. We are very lucky and fortunate in this country that we're able to do so.
That's great. And the race, are you well prepared for the race? It's several kilometres. Mavinder ਕਾਫੀ ਦੂਰ ਰੇਸ ਲੱਗਣੀ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਤ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕਰਨੀ ਕੀ ਖਿਆਲ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਤੋਗੇ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ?
ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ I'm a Bhangra teacher, so I'm a Zumba fitness instructor. So the Bhangras.
We expect you to come first.
Yeah, exactly. But
I think I'll be.
I think there's athletes though, isn't there?
There are some professional
people.
There are some athletes going to be there. But I think I do hot yoga, so I've been trying to acclimatise to the heat, like what the level of heat's going to be like. And I've been doing runs at the gym, but I was told running outside on the road is very different.
It is.
So I've started to do park runs now.
Great.
Outside.
Yeah, I think Bhangra's totally opposite to what Sharon's used to because we do a lot of performances where it's quite intense Bhangra.
Short periods.
It's very short periods, sharp periods. So we have a lot of training in sense of as a group, but on an individual basis and having women from all backgrounds and ethnicities or whoever's getting taken part, I think if they can do it, I feel as if I could do it, despite what challenges it's going to come about. We'll have to be ready, and we're going to be ready.
Great, and it's a great fun event. It's great to be able to be part of this, but also has a very serious message in terms of you're representing the Sikh community, especially Sikh ladies. So there's a responsibility upon you. Sharon, what do you think about that responsibility?
I think it has to come. Life is about responsibility to a certain degree, isn't it, with everything? So whether it be responsibility at work or responsibility with your family, everybody has to take on that degree of responsibility. And it's not about blame if things go wrong. It's about thinking, what are the solutions? How could we make things better? And I think that is what responsibility is about to me. So yeah.
Pavinder, ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੁਬਈ ਜਾਣਾ Sikh community behalf. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਨੁਮਾਇੰਦਰ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ in behalf of the England and worldwide Sikh channel representatives and ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਨਿਭਾਉਣੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਦੇਣਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੋਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਯੰਗਸਟਰ ਆ.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, the generation are very lucky, especially these days, that they have education, they have a good working jobs. I think my mother struggled when she came in the 60s as a woman. She left her family from India. She met my father on the day before the wedding, And she struggled to make ends meet along with my father because they did migrate from Punjab.
It's a new country.
It was a new
start.
country, new start. She didn't know the community. She didn't know who was her neighbouring friend. And I think growing up in a struggling environment, I think we had it quite easy. They didn't go to college or university. They were at work. I was actually pushed into education. That but the university jana pena, you get educated, you get a good job. And I think without that push, I don't think I would have got where I am without my parents. And the fact that Sikh Channel are doing this for different women across the UK and promoting that, I'm honoured, we are honoured to take that step forward.
Yeah.
And we're extremely pleased. We also feel very privileged to be part of this event. Thanks to Waheguru first and foremost. We thank God for giving us all these opportunities and blessings and able to serve via the Sikh Channel platform. It's a great opportunity for us to do seva. And Harmeek Singh, the director of Plan B, and who is now our Middle East representative and director for Sikh Channel and Sikh Channel Aid. He's actually sponsoring this trip, so it's very kind of him to enable us to put this event on. And what message would you like to give to Harmeek Singh and his team, Gusharan?
I really feel, again, humbled, honoured to take part in such an event, and just to say thank you really for being given this opportunity, because I think it is one of those once in a lifetime sort of opportunities, and I think it'll be amazing the cause that we're doing it for, and the whole environment and everything about it is just really thankful that we're able to, that we've been selected actually from others.
That's right. And Parvinder Kaur, what do you hope to achieve as a long-term lasting impact of this project? What would you like to see happen after the race and in the months and years to come?
You know, just like everything in my daily life, I do get up and I do think to myself, how can we inspire somebody today with what I post on social media, how I go to work because I'm a teacher, how can I change someone's life at college or university where I teach? How will someone come through the doors of a Bhangra team? Where would a 6-year-old be going to Glastonbury or BBC where we perform? How are we changing their perception? And that's where the connection is. I think that's what I'm feeling quite humbled and blessed, that messages across the world and impacting Dubai especially, a ladies only kind of Dubai run. I don't see that much in the UK. I think the UK do focus on a lot of mainstream music or arts or entertainment in terms of inspiring women in a different way. This is actually, normally I would be on stage doing Bhangra, but this is actually getting involved in an event that, you know, sometimes I don't get the opportunity to do in the UK.
That's great. And I think you are good role models. You're both in the teaching profession, which is a very tough profession. And would you like to say a few words about teaching? Would you recommend it as an occupation, Sharon?
Definitely, definitely. I think any teacher out there would probably agree with this. But you can't do it unless you're absolutely passionate about helping children, about seeing their progress in all areas of life, whether it be moral, social, academic. You're there, you're like their second carer for that amount of time that you're with them, and you really, it's so rewarding to see them finally get that concept that you've been trying to get them to understand, or get them to the next step level or next step to where they need to be going. And I don't think for me there's anything like that feeling that you get from doing that role.
Parvinder, the financial rewards in teaching aren't so great. People often want to become lawyers, accountants, or start their own business. But as Gusharan described, there are other rewards. How do you feel about teaching?
You know, I've been doing this 15 years. I kind of fell into the education side because, not just for the holidays, but because of the rewards that we get from students. Initially, I started, you know, my music career very, very young, at the age of 14. So I was at school doing my GCSE in music, and then when I got to college, I thought, how can I express my feelings and passion through music? I couldn't do music full time. My parents were quite, you know, pushing for the education side, and that's when I chose my career in teaching. And I saw the change of my lifestyle with the change of my students, how we reward them, how we inspire them on a daily basis. And people like me and Sharon, they would go home and they would think about what we've taught them on a daily basis, and changing those lives and, you know, their thoughts is something that we would never forget.
That's tremendous. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased that both of you have been selected to go forward to Dubai in November on behalf of Sikh Channel and Sikh Channel Aid, and more importantly on behalf of the whole Sikh community. And I hope it's a great event. We'll be following all your activities in Dubai. There's an itinerary arranged where you'll be taken on a tour by Harmeek Singh and his team, and we'll be also covering the race itself. So we look forward to seeing you again on Sikh Channel, and maybe you'll become long-term contributors to some of our programming, particularly with your teaching skills.
Thank you. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, most definitely we'd get involved.
Yeah.
Any opportunity we get where we think we can change someone's life.
That's what it's about, isn't
definitely
it?
get involved.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining Sikh Channel today, and we will be in touch again with further updates on the Dubai race in November 2015. Thank you. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.